Ted, Jordy Bahl is leaving Oklahoma to go play in Nebraska. And I don't like it. The rumors were swirling. And then there was a lot of smoke. And then she released her statement on Twitter. What was your initial reaction, man?
Um, when I first heard the rumor, I thought, well, here's the thing. Jordy has always been, you can tell that she misses home. You can tell that she's she loves where she's from. She's passionate about it. It's always just kind of been hanging there whenever you see her or you hear her talk about it, or like you see her social media posts. So I guess I'd never considered it, but whenever I first heard the rumor, I thought, I I, I would be surprised if that happens, but she always does kind of give off the vibe that she wants to be back home in Nebraska, that she really misses it. So that's kind of what I first thought. And then whenever it happened, um, my first thought was, how good can Nebraska be with her pitching? Um, and I thought, and maybe this is dumb, but maybe this team needs something like that as a something to really drive them to get back in the grind, to have some doubters out there instead of being, just everyone going to give them next year's trophy as the massive favorite. Having like a little bit of doubt creeping in from the outside could do them some good and maybe make things a little more enjoyable for them, right? Instead of just being, the massive favorite and everyone says that it's just an inevitability that you're going to win it. Like, for them to get back to feeling like they need to go earn it. And, I know there's people that would question, why in the world could you ever do that? It's interesting. Softball, the pinnacle is college. They have professional softball, but it's not anything like college softball as far as the eyeballs and the amount of views you get. So this is like, it's LeBron going back to Cleveland, right? Now he got kind of forced into that situation to some degree, but I think she honestly sees this as an opportunity to go back to Nebraska, shine a spotlight on that program, on that state, as far as softball's concerned, and see if she can win a title for her hometown and her home state. I think it's in. I think it's like superstars hell, honestly.
Correct.
If you know what I'm saying, like
that was my initial thought. I'll just be real. And listen, I'm gonna miss Jordy Bahl and watching her pitch. It was electric to watch in person. But my initial thought was, hey, we got Patty Gasso. Oklahoma softball is going to be just fine. Right? I'm just being honest. That was my initial thought. And just from what I understand, this had been something that the Ball family, and it sounds like mostly her dad, had been pushing for quite some time. So, and that's what stood out to the statement. I read between the lines a little bit, because she said, here's what the statement said. I'm excited thinking about growing the game that has provided so many opportunities for growth in my home state, a current overlooked state for girls in softball at all ages. And I'm excited to finish the softball journey right where it began. I think she wants to carry a team. I think, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think she wants it to be the Jordy Bahl show. And there's a lot of things that come with that, right? But that involves, influencing young girls and building the sport up in your home state. Like I don't mean like she wants it to be the Jordy Bahl show. I don't mean that in a negative way. I think she wants to carry her home state's team
It's
to a
like
Women's College World Series.
I've got
And
this massive spotlight. I'm going to
yeah,
go use it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a big part of me thinks it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Now, does it suck for us OU fans? Yeah, you're losing the best pitcher in college softball. You're losing the most outstanding player at the Women's College World Series, who was fantastic, right? Especially in the championship series. She was fantastic. She was fantastic the entire thing, right? She was essentially untouchable. But I get it, right? You've won 2 national titles. What else is there for her to accomplish at Oklahoma? Do I wish he was staying? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. Do I think OU softball is going to be just fine? Absolutely. But I also we hear them talk about growing the game all the time. I think this is a way for the sport of softball to grow some more. If she can go do something special in Nebraska. Now, if they finish in the middle of the pack in their conference and don't make the Women's College World Series, then we're all probably going to go, well, that didn't.
Right.
That didn't go according to plan, but I'm expecting her to do something special.
I'll give you the flip side of that, which I totally agree. And frankly, I hope she takes Nebraska to the Women's College World Series. I hope that's the case. I think that's
I
a
hope
hell of a
OU
story.
and Nebraska play each other in the championship series and OU stomps them. That's what I hope.
I know.
Like that is the best possible story that could happen to softball.
100%. Here's the other option that I'm leaving room for. Sounds like there's a pressure cooker up there in the softball program, and it's totally understandable. Not that it was not a like it kind of forced on them by all the expectations and everything.
That was the sense when we had Patty on, and even hearing her talk about it after they had won the whole damn thing, it sounded, and she's got to find a way to navigate it, and those players have to find a way to navigate it. And maybe Jordy Bahl leaving is exactly like you mentioned, exactly what they needed. But they all seemed relieved that they didn't lose.
Yeah.
That was the sense I got. It's like, okay, we did what we were supposed to do. Now they still had the joy and the excitement while they were playing, all the stuff, the celebrations, all that, but it felt like a weight was lifted as opposed to them really expressing like a ton of joy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. There's something about going and playing the game that you love and playing it in anonymity to a certain degree, right? To where not every single game is packed full of crazy fans. And, if you don't throw a shutout, it was a bad night. And if you don't win 50 games in a row, well, then something happened, because you guys were supposed to do it. Like there's something to that. And I'm not, like I said, it's just kind of the flip side to the whole thing is like, I want to go somewhere where I can be like somewhat a normal normal student, normal person, and play the game I love without the massive spotlight. Now, is that what it is? I don't know. It just sounds like there was a lot of, sports psychologists meetings, and you hear all the pressure that was going on out there. Like, you can go do, like I said, it's superstar as hell, but it's low pressure. She's already proved how good she is. If you go to Nebraska and you guys don't get it done, well, it's not going to be because Jordy Bahl couldn't get it done. We've all already seen that she can get it done. So, I mean, the pressure can ruin the game for you. You got a small amount of time to play it in softball. All right. You better enjoy it while you're doing it. And if it had robbed the game of everything that you love to be in that pressure cooker nonstop, then go play it where you get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. You just don't see this though, right? I mean, I think I looked it up. Nebraska was 36-22 this year. Went 13-10 in conference play.
Not horrible.
She's leaving the best program in the sport, right? You're the best player on the best team that just won a third national title in a row. And you're leaving that to go play for a team that was barely over 500 in its conference. I don't even know what the college football equivalent of this is.
There's not one. It's only professional sports.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only professional sports is the only equivalent. Like LeBron James, like we've heard of guys maybe taking less money to go back somewhere and play maybe where they're from, or
less money with the way that Nebraska's been able to mobilize that NIL stuff.
I'm not saying she is.
I hope she's getting paid. She better be getting paid.
She better be. Yeah. No, I'm talking like in professional sports, like where, someone may, in order to go back to go win a championship at somewhere, they may take a smaller deal or something. It's just, you don't see it in college. College is always improve. Like the big schools rarely lose anyone. Like we lost Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner. Wow. 2 in a row. But, it's typically the players at the top schools stay put, and the players in the kind of the satellite schools, if you've had a couple of really good years, you go capitalize on it and go to one of the big schools.
Yeah. So this is, I didn't even know what to compare it to. Really never seen it, and makes me sad that it's happening to this fan base. But I can only imagine how many pitchers have reached out to Patty Gasso already. Like, oh, Jordy Bahl's gone? I would love to step in. So we'll see. I'm sure they're going to have their pick of plenty of people. Now, never going to forget Jordy Bahl, right? What she did for the program. But now it's
schedule them.
Absolutely. Just make sure ABC agrees to televise it, right? Let's grow this game, Yep. Let's build the drama, the suspense. But
Jordy Bahl comes into OU in their new stadium and breaks their winning streak.
Yeah, let's not schedule that one. Or at least let's get a couple games in the new stadium. Let's rack up a couple wins in the new stadium before we put that one together. Don't make it the first game in there, okay? Right. Is that fair?
Right, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, Nicole May, Kirsten Deal, I mean, they're going to have arms. I'm sure that recruiting is going well, and the portal will obviously be a significant factor. But yeah, That was, I mean, that was an absolute bombshell in the softball world. But it does sound like there's some serious family dynamics at play with that whole thing. And I hope she goes and crushes it in Nebraska.
Yeah.
It'd be unfortunate for the sport if she doesn't. My fear is that, you know, she just kind of disappears, like, and doesn't get the exposure. Because you ever seen a Nebraska softball game on TV? I haven't. And
I
that's
didn't know
where
Nebraska had a softball program
I
until
agree with that. I didn't want to say it, but I
a
didn't know they
handful of
had a
days
softball
ago.
team. Because they'd never been in the World Series. They'd never been in one of the regionals or the super regionals that I've been watching. But if she can take that program and turn it into something, I that would be that'd be big time. But she's got such a dynamic personality, and she's so damn talented. I just don't want her to kind of disappear.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. And irrelevance that's a harsh word, right? But she she could have been, and maybe she still will be, the face of the sport in the sport's best team. And there's so many opportunities and so many things that can come from that. We'll see if she's able to make something special happen there in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I hope she does.
I only hope that she's happy. That's it. And if that means that Nebraska flounders around in the Big Ten, but she's happy to be in Nebraska and where she's from, I mean,
See, I've seen the kid compete.
I know.
She doesn't look like someone that wants to lose a lot.
I
So
know.
that's right. And yes, we should have started with that, right? Her happiness and well-being, like, that is the most important thing, right? She's a college athlete. It's always the most important thing. Maybe we don't say that enough. But she does not look like a person that would take losing well.
No.
Just from what we've been able to witness. Like, hyper competitive.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. We're not sure how she takes losing. You know?
I'm not sure she knows, because didn't she, like, dominated Nebraska high school softball, then went to the best program in the country and dominated?
You could probably count on one hand the amount of games she's lost as a softball player, especially when she's pitching.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Thankful
Unfortunate,
we
though.
had her for 2 years. Thankful we had her for 2 years.
Absolutely huge piece of these last two national championship runs for Oklahoma softball. Didn't see it coming.
I'm more worried about the 2024 SEC schedule than I am about OU softball struggling without Jordy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.